I've got my 4 boxes all laid out and labeled, so I'm ready to go. I know that there's a little dot as my marker right here. I'm going to make it dark for you guys, which means that that's where I'm going to start my focal point, so I don't think about balancing things too much. If I had, don't do this, but if I had those rule of thirds lines, that's where that dot would line up. So that's why I chose that location. If you want it somewhere else, that's fine, but that just ends up being a really nice location because of that rule of thirds balance. So I'm just gonna look at my library of lines and shapes, and I'm gonna choose anything. It doesn't matter, I could choose a line or a shape. For this design, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll choose a shape. And I chose a triangle last time, so I guess I'll choose a circle this time. So I'll take my stencil and I'm gonna add that circle right, kind of center it around that little dot. And then I think it's always a nice idea to do shapes inside of shapes. So now I'm gonna put a circle inside of my circle. And I could do like a bunch of circles that kind of like radiated that way. That would look nice, but I'm not gonna do that, but that's a fun idea. Since this is a purely geometric design, I think I'm gonna go ahead and draw a line that kind of travels through this circle. Maybe I'll make it a thick line. And this is, I think it's a lot easier than symmetrical balance because I don't have to line everything up and make it perfect. So I'm just gonna keep playing with these circular shapes. And I just want to remind you guys, not every design that you do is going to be a winner. So I'd recommend even starting out really lightly, and if it doesn't work, erase it and just kind of go back into it. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I made a mistake. I put a shape there. I didn't like it. I felt like it started to feel too balanced, and I'm not going for symmetry. I just want the visual weight to feel balanced. I tend to like adding line weight. So what I'm doing is I'm using my ruler. Because it's see-through, I'm making sure that all my lines are parallel to each other. So I'm sliding my ruler down and looking through it to make sure that my lines are parallel. And I think I'm just gonna play around with repeating some nice diagonal lines and changing the width of them as I go. I don't want to add too many different elements, so I'm probably just going to stick with circles and straight lines. Maybe I'll add some broken lines. I'm definitely going to add some circles down here, but I'm not sure yet how I want to do that. So I'm going to test some things out, and then I'll erase and see how it goes. So I've done a lot of testing and playing. I've erased a lot. I don't want you guys to ever think that the first thing you do is gonna stick. So erase, play, test. I love contrast, so I tend to shade even though I know we're gonna color these in, just because I kind of wanna see the way that I'm gonna layer my shapes. So you can see that I've got this circle beneath, this dark circle beneath like a lighter top circle. I did one diagonal line just to create a little tension and unevenness to it. I do feel like I've got some negative spaces that I want to address over here and in here. So this design isn't finished, but I'm going to move on, and I'm actually going to do another geometric one. So now that's my starting point, and now I have to figure out, oh, you can't, I'm not even on the screen. So that's my starting point. And now I have to figure out what I'm gonna do to tie this all together. Maybe I wanna repeat these diagonals or just parts of them. Maybe I want some broken lines. Maybe I scrap that whole thing. Or maybe I create triangles inside of my little heartbeat area. or other geometric shapes. Or I could change the feeling completely and maybe add like a giant circle that goes through the entire thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's just see what happens. So one more time, Broken Record Hatcher here to tell you guys to just keep playing, keep testing until it looks good. Never use a pin because then you're stuck to your design. So try different things out. So I've got my little heartbeat line. And I am gonna now do a rule of thirds circle that falls right off the page. Not the page, but my square. Kind of intersects the heartbeat. And now it's like, oh, it's cool. I like it. I really like it. I'm actually gonna repeat that heartbeat a little smaller down here now. And now I feel like I've just invented some new logo for, I don't know, a band or a heart rate monitor.